ArtFight, one of the art community's biggest annual events, where everyone draws each other's characters for points, and in my case suffering carpal tunnel in the process. But this year, I wanted to try something different. What if, instead of making a character that people want to draw, I try and make one that nobody would draw? An unattackable OC. Here's the rules for this challenge. 1. I must make a real, functional character. I can't half-arse it, make a stick man and call it a day. 2. I must post the finished character on my ArtFight profile alongside my real, actual OCs. And 3. I cannot directly tell people not to draw this character. I feel like it'd be cheating if I did that. So with the rules set, it's time to design my new OC. But what would an unattackable character actually look like? It seems that I have two main choices for this challenge. Option A, make a character that's so plain, generic and boring that all my other OCs clearly overshadow them. Think the default me or a random background extra in your favourite show. Sounds like a good idea, right? But coming up with a featureless default character would actually have the potential to make them more of a target. You see, there's a special breed of art fighter out there. A complete speed demon, the likes of which I never thought possible until last year when I saw it for myself. The kind of artist who can pump out 10, 20, 30, or even more attacks a day, which is insane by the way. Those people love easy to draw characters, and generic man.jpg would be very easy to draw. So what about option B? A character that's a complete opposite. Someone that's so overloaded with details, features and accessories that your wrist hurts just looking at them. Think mid-2000s edgy self-inserts on DeviantArt. If you know, you know. Nobody wants to spend hours painstakingly recreating every detail of a character they're not even attached to. At least in theory. Especially in a time-limited event like ArtFight. So out of the two options, I actually think this is the strongest choice. But now the question is, what kind of ridiculously over-designed character do I make? One thing I've noticed since taking part in ArtFight is the kind of OCs that people usually have. The most common types are humanoids and furries, with the occasional feral or dragon. But there's one type of OC that I've only seen 3 times total in the past 3 years. Mechs and robots are often quite intimidating to draw due to their complexity and detail. But does that mean that such characters are unappealing to the general ArtFight community? Or is it just that there's far less available? I don't know anyone personally on ArtFight who has a mecha OC, but if they had the opportunity to draw one, would they take it? I guess there's only one way to find out. I started by throwing random boxes and shapes onto the page until something felt right. Eventually I ended up with this lean, agile body type, which was great because a lot of the agile mechs I found were absolutely covered in details, and details is exactly what we want. So I started covering them in armor plates, panel lines, lights, and triangles. So many triangles. But then things started to go a little bit wrong. I drew this cool looking stick leg based on one of my Pinterest references, which I had to draw from a different angle for the other leg, meaning I had to actually understand what I'd just drawn. It didn't go well. I spent way too long trying to figure out what the knee would look like from the side. Eventually I got something that looked good enough and moved on before my brain melted. The torso wasn't much better. I kept trying different shapes, but nothing really felt right. I looked at my references again and found a chest shape I liked, so I used that as a starting point, and then started adding extra stuff to it. Then came the shoulders, which was an experience to say the least. I found some cool looking knight shoulders in one of my references and used them as inspiration. This one turned out great, especially the big vents on the side. The problem was, I had to draw another one on the other side, and thanks to my decision to draw this character in a 3/4 view, I now had to figure out what that looked like from an entirely different angle. So I did what any professional artist would do. I left it for future me to figure out. Hi past me, a future me here. Go f*** yourself, thanks. I decided to move on to the head, which somehow managed to be even worse. I knew what I wanted the face to look like almost immediately. Everything around the face, though, was a completely different story. I tried different helmets, fins, plates, horns, different everything. Every time I thought I'd figured it out, I'd zoom out and immediately hate it. Eventually I settled on this design, which I'm still not entirely sold on, but at this point I just wanted it to be over with. Staring at robot parts for hours was giving me a headache. I drew the other shoulder, just don't look at it too hard. Added the arms. And now the final thing I needed was some kind of backpack or wing system. I found these really cool mechanical wings and spent several minutes trying to recreate them, only to realise the image was AI generated. Thanks Pinterest, very cool. So after abandoning that idea, I tried a few other things before eventually settling on a much simpler booster pack. My brain was fried at this point and I just wanted my suffering to finally end. And so, after 3 hours and 50 minutes, the sketch was complete. If anyone decides to draw this guy of their own free will, they are actually insane. Anyway, let's give this guy some colour. Since my design was heavily inspired by sci-fi anime, I wanted the main colour to be white with bright accent colours. I chose the blue because it fit the Stellar Station aesthetic and gave them cyan lights to match the studio. For the shading, I came across this video by Mark Brunet recently and found it really interesting. Normally I hate shading, but this looked cool, so I decided to try it out. I'm not sure if I did it right, but it still turned out way better than I expected, especially the metallic effects. And with that done, our character was finally complete. All that was left was to give them a name, and I had the perfect one. Okay, so it might look like a bunch of numbers and letters, but hear me out. As per the rules, I'm not allowed to directly tell people not to draw this character, but that doesn't mean I can't try to influence it in other ways. If we take the first part of their name, change the numbers to letters, we get 9, the German word for no. Combined with the number 9, which sounds similar, we get 99, which in English is no. It's so stupid. No the robot. And now I've got to post them on my Artfight page. I want to give as little information about this character as possible. Remember, 99's entire purpose is to be ignored by the Artfight community, which is kind of sad if you think about it. But all I'm going to put for the description is this. It says, do not the robot. Technically, I'm not directly asking people not to draw them. Do not the robot could mean anything. I also noticed that there's literally a do not draw tag, but obviously I can't use it, so I'll use the challenge tag instead. And I also made this cute profile picture for them, which matches all my other OC's profile pictures. Aww, it looks like they belong there. And so, 99 is finally ready to fulfill their purpose. But how would the Artfight community react to such a complex and detailed character? Or even worse, what if they actually liked them?
2 weeks later.
We're about halfway through Artfight at the moment, and I've gotten quite a few attacks on my characters, which is awesome. But has 99 been successful in their mission so far? Ooh, let's find out. Yes! Haha! No attacks. Mission success. Although, there's still a few weeks left to go, so there's still time. But so far, so good. And here you can see my current stats. I've gotten 14 attacks so far, so people are drawing my characters, just not 99, which is perfect. So what can we learn from this experiment? Well, if you want someone to draw your characters in Artfight, don't have an overcomplicated and highly detailed OC. Or maybe take this as a sign to push out of your comfort zone and try something new. After all, mechas need love too.